to Math Sessions with Mr. M, and today we'll be dealing with grade 12 tangent graph, and we'll be doing an introduction on it. So today on my board here I have my degrees. They are written down from negative 360 degrees to 360 degrees with their y values. Now, explaining now and understanding what is a tangent graph. A tangent graph looks like a waterfall, something like this. That is the look of a tangent graph. It looks like a waterfall. So, number one, something that is different that is in a tangent graph is the asymptote, where you press your calculator, for example, tan 270 degrees, it will give you an undefined answer. So that is where you draw your dotted lines. That is where you draw your dotted lines. And at 90, you'll have those dotted lines. You have those dotted lines at 90, also there. So this is a distinction between the other two graphs that we did, which were cosine and sine graph. So this is now 270 and 90. We call those dotted lines our asymptote. So basically our graph, if you have negative 360, you'll find that it is at 0. At negative 315, between 270 and 360, you'll find that it is at 1, positive 1. Where is our 1? Our 1 is right here at this point. So it's positive here, it's negative here. So it's at positive 1, somewhere there. So you have a point there. Now, at 270, an asymptote. At 225, between 270 and 180, it's negative 1. So it's somewhere here. Somewhere here. It's meeting at this point, right here. At 180, it's at 0. At 135 is between negative 90, somewhere here, and positive 1, somewhere there. So we are plotting our graph now so that you can understand how it looks. Why it is drawn like a waterfall. Now at 0, it is 0. What else? At negative 45, between 0 and 45, between 0 and 90, it is somewhere here at negative 1. So you have a point right here, and you have a point at 0, and you have a point at positive 45 and 1. Positive 45 and 1, somewhere there. And we have a point at between 90 and 180, 135 and negative 1, somewhere here. Yes, somewhere here. And also we have a point at 180, it's 0. And also between 180 and 270, we have 225 and positive 1. So it's somewhere there. So approximately at 360, 270 asymptote, at 315, between 360, somewhere here, and negative 1. Where is negative 1? Somewhere here. So a point at 360. So we join now our dotted lines. Our graph will have something like this. And we join these other 3 points right here. You see now where the waterfall comes from? There's our points. Something like that. Clumsy, but I'm trying my best. So this is basic of a tangent graph. So this is basically how it will look to you. Now, number 2, what you must understand of a tangent graph, apart from the cosine and the sine graph, its period, which is one full waterfall, it is equal to 180 degrees. If you remember clearly, on our two graphs, we had a period of 360, but a tangent graph has a 180 degrees period. That is the other difference apart from the other two graphs. Now, this graph is basically y is equal to tan x. This is the basic graph that you will give of a tangent graph. Now, I want us to understand between now, if you are given an equation, y is equal to a tan b x plus p plus Q. There's your equation. And that equation has many unknowns, which you must define. If you remember from the cosine and the sine graph, we defined A as the what? If you remember, A was the amplitude of the graph. But a tangent graph does not have an amplitude. It has no highest point, or how low it can go, or how high it has reached a certain point. Do you see now? So that is the only difference. So that A is not an amplitude when it comes to a tangent graph. That A represents the vertical stretch of the graph. So this is our vertical stretch of this graph. That is our A, explaining A. And we understand now the other ones, which is the shift of the graph, the Q, and the horizontal shift of the graph, the X. So those ones, they stay the same. So no amplitude, number 2, you write this one, no amplitude. Makes the tangent graph unique from the other 2 ones. No amplitude, the period is 180 degrees, and there is a vertical stretch of the graph. On our next video, we'll be explaining and finding the unknowns of a tangent graph. So stay tuned on this one, and that's all from me, Mr. M. Have a wonderful evening and a great night. God bless you. Bye.
When it's my time, man, I hope I make you proud. Man, I hope I make you proud, fam. When it's my time, this is about right time. I take action, yeah, yeah, yeah.